Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be doing an interview with the people that are behind Yucatan Magazine, a local publication out here in Merida that, well, basically tells you everything you need to know about living out here in the Yucatan and in Mexico. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so we are here now with Lee, Carlos, and Jessica of Yucatan Magazine, and they're gonna tell us all about who they are and about the magazine and everything that's interesting about their lives and what they're doing out here.
Okay, well, I'm Lee Steele. I'm the director, publisher of Yucatan Magazine. Carlos Rosado Vandegracht is our senior editor. Jessica Benitez is our general manager. That's the core of the operation. The story of me is I came down from Connecticut with my partner around 2010. And like everyone else, we saw Merida on House Hunters and just thought we'd try it out. And within a year, we had bought property and we were building this house. So we made our lives here. And then I started blogging. I came from a newspaper background, magazine background, and decided it was a kind of an interesting story, our own little process of buying property here and integrating into society. And then a few years ago, it occurred to me that we need a lifestyle magazine for Yucatan, for people around the world to learn more about it here. So we started my little blog, which was Imagine Merida. That was about for 3 years, and then it became Yucatan Expat Life. And it was still very narrowly focused on my life and some news events that were of interest, but readers have changed, the whole media landscape has changed, so we've really kind of repivoted and we became Yucatan Magazine, a much broader magazine. And when we really all got together here, and I don't even know how that happened. But we found each other and we started working together over the years. Felt more confident to call us a magazine, a real magazine that covers a variety of topics, focusing on lifestyle and living here and investing here. And that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, and how long has the magazine been around?
Well, we're in our 4th year of print publication, but Yucatan Magazine has been around online in some form for about 12 years.
So you mentioned that there's been a lot of changes, not just in your lives, but in the way that you're creating the magazine. But there's also been a lot of changes here in Merida as well. And so, how has that, affected, what you guys do, with the magazine?
It's a really good question because the international community here has really grown, and it's gotten kind of fancier here too. It's just not at all what I came here for, but I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying the good restaurants and the improved nightlife, and it's been a great investment for me, and I'm loving my life here. I really am. The fact that I can do a business here, taking my skills with me from the US to here and do something with it, it's been incredible for me.
I grew up here, born and raised, Mexican Canadian. Mother's from Vancouver, but I spent pretty much all my life here until I was about 18. I went off to college in Canada and then spent quite a bit of time in Europe. But when I was a kid, the expat community here was extremely small. You literally knew everybody. Whether you were Australian, British, or whatever, you were invited over for Christmas to the American consul's Christmas party. It was like that small community. So we've really seen that change. And even in the neighborhood where Jessica and I live, up in Las Americas, we have expats out there. And the demographics have really changed as well, right? It used to skew a lot older. Now people are getting a lot younger, a lot more diverse. So
bringing their kids,
exactly. So the panorama for that has definitely changed a lot.
So where a topic might have been before, how to live on your retirement savings, now we're doing, for the fall we're doing a school guide. We're doing a guide for where a place to take your kids to school. I would never have imagined that years ago, and now it's a perfectly good topic for us. Our readers have always been younger than I expect. It's even from the beginning where we had a lot of readers in their 30s and 40s, and so there's always been some interest among younger readers coming here. So we're happy about that, and just always listening to what readers say and what advertisers say, and going forward with that kind of perspective.
And it's also really been the case that when we first started, we were very Merida-centric and even kind of a little bit too centro-centric. And we've really started expanding beyond that, and also, even out of the peninsula. So more and more, we're starting to cover topics as well that are a little bit, further afield, because, people, whether, they're here for an extended stay or planning retirement here or whatever, also want to know, where are there direct flights to? What are the getaways I can do without spending a fortune and stuff like that, right? So now Merida's way better connected. We have, flights to Miami, Vegas, Dallas, Havana, Guatemala, Toronto, all over the place. So that's really changed a lot. So we're really trying to expand our scope. I'm going to be going to Durango in April to cover the eclipse. Hoping to get over to Zacatecas as well, and really show our readers a bit more beyond what are these just kind of little tourist enclaves and expat enclaves around the country, whether that be in Nayarit or places outside Guadalajara or Cabo or stuff like that. It's a very big, diverse country, and we also want to reflect that. Though Yucatan will always be, at our core, it's where our DNA is at. In my and Jessica's case, literally.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it. It's just again, you might have the New York Post or Washington Post, but still, they cover all kinds of things. It's not just centric to that area.
Right. Our current issue has a nice feature on the Sea of Cortez.
Okay.
And a writer took a cruise ship off of Baja and Baja California Sur and went on a really incredible 7-day cruise. We also took the train to Chiapas, to Palenque, and been documenting that.
The Mayan train, correct?
Yes.
Mayan train, yeah, the Tren Maya, and we are recognizing that Merida is a great base of travel for exploring Latin America. What we're really going for here is curious readers who are just love the culture and want to know more about it.
And how about you, Jessica? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm a Yucatecan. There's a column in the magazine called Aska Yucateca. Actually, because I think my contribution to the magazine is precisely that, to add the local touch to the things, because I think the most difficult thing for the people that is trying to live abroad is precisely that, right? Is to integrate to a new culture, and that doesn't mean to forget where they came from, or neither that. It is get to know the locals, embrace it, but also celebrate differences, and that kind of integration is part of our mission as a company, as a magazine, is that to bring that new life to the foreign community, which, as Liz said, has been growing exponentially. I mean, from the 2000s to 2020, it grew 5 times.
Wow.
The foreign community. So we are talking about at least 50,000 expats in just in Yucatan.
Oh wow! I had no idea it was that many of us here. Wow,
Yeah.
That's a lot. As you were saying, helping people assimilate is a major
Yes.
part of the whole thing, because a lot of people, especially Americans, they come out here and it's hard for them to assimilate because, they got their own culture, their own everything, and then they come out here and they want to kind of keep things the same. But in order
Yes.
to really, really enjoy life out here and be able to really,
Exactly.
you got to assimilate. And
It's important to really know where you are,
Right.
and know a little bit about the history and the culture and the people. You can't just come out here and recreate your old life. And I think just having a little context of the history, and even the recent history, and of course the ancient history, and the colonial history, all those things. It's just good to know that stuff. I think it's important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the local customs.
Yeah.
I mean, not only the history or why there's a statue of somebody on Paseo, but also like how to get along with neighbors,
Yes.
or what if I have a Yucatecan neighbor, I as an expat have a Yucatecan neighbor, how to approach them, you know, all that sort of things that are like we never think about them, but they're so important, you know, when you are trying to make your life in a new country. And I mean and also I mean we are sort of bridge between the locals and the local companies to the expat community, because thanks to our editors here, we always focus on sending the right message to the audience, right? Because again, demographics are changing a lot, so it's important to communicate properly, right? I mean, all the people that we are not native English, like we try hard, and also experts try hard to communicate, but sometimes the language barrier is too hard. So that's what our multicultural team works with, like that communication between the locals, and that's one of our highlights.
Right.
And you make a great point, because again, just like in the U.S., you know, every state, every region, different accents, and so the same thing happens out here. You know, Yucatecan accent, the whole Yucatecan, everything is completely different than the rest of the country.
Yeah.
I always find these memes that are funny where you know, people, they learn Spanish, right, and then they come out here and it's like, hey, what are you guys speaking out here? You know,
Yeah, right.
which is Yucatecan, right?
Yes.
And things like that. And then on top of that, remember, because you guys have a lot of influence with the Mayan culture. You know, some of the words and some of the phrases are also Mayan, and you know, all that stuff. And so like yeah, sometimes it's you might say, you know, a certain word, I don't know, I can't think of something right now, like chic, right? You know, and like people are like, what's that? You know, and it's not even Spanish, it's more Mayan than anything else. And just the integration. But like, as you also said, with the businesses and like the locals, you know, a lot of the locals, a lot of the businesses, they want to integrate, you know, with the foreigners, and vice versa. The foreigners, you know, they want to, you know, integrate more with you know, the local community. But it's just so many things where like if someone that might be coming from abroad might want to go to the markets, but they're afraid. And then
Yes.
they might stick to like, oh, I'm going to go to the big box market, or even go to Costco or Walmart. But hey, there's more than that. There's a lot more life to, you know, living out. You know, there's a lot more things out here to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read comments from people saying, expert people saying like, I don't want to deal with a lot of, for example, markets. I don't want to deal because there's too many options. I want to go to Costco, that's what I know, that's it. So, but, I mean, we have all that diversity of options, all those options here. So it's cool for us to curate
Yes.
places, curate experiences for our audience, so they can pick what it suits to them.
Yeah, but you make a great point. I mean, again, you know, a lot of people, when I show them, you know, the stuff in my videos and the content, you know, they appreciate the fact that I go to the markets, I do a lot of the local stuff.
Right.
You know, I don't go to Costco. Yeah, I might go to Walmart for a couple of things, but other than that, like, I try to stick as local as possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know how to go about that until I
Exactly.
show them, and it's like, hey, look, it's okay. You know, the people here are nice. You know, the people here are gonna, you know, it's gonna be welcoming. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
nothing to be scared of. Yeah.
Yeah, we are very proud. I mean, as a Yucateca, I'm very proud to show my culture and my day-to-day to the foreigners that want to embrace Merida or Yucatan as their new home.
Jessica was talking about experiences, and that's something that we're really starting to branch out into more. I've worked in the tourism industry for a long time myself, and I'm currently pursuing a PhD in heritage studies, and I'm a big archaeology guy, big archaeology aficionado. I visited hundreds of archaeological sites in Mesoamerica. So, we're also starting to do tours where we're taking people not so much out to places like Uxmal and the places that, you can just kind of get onto a Adeo bus and go to, but these places that are a bit more, inaccessible, a bit harder to get to, and that require, a little bit more planning, but that are still like really, incredible. I mean, even somewhere like, Chichen Itza is really cool, but a lot of people don't realize that's just the very tippy top of the iceberg, right? I mean, Chichen Itza is what it is because it's basically halfway between Merida and Cancun. But you can't toss a stone here basically without hitting an archaeological site, and that's really something that we're trying to bring even more awareness to, especially here in the city itself. And my kind of pet project, my research topic for my doctoral dissertation has to do with urban archaeology. So even there, there's so much archaeology here within the city that people don't realize exists. So that's also been kind of part of the mission.
Yeah, the archaeology, the architecture, so much history, all that stuff. And being able to show people, like you said, parts of the city, parts of the, the state that they just won't have access to.
But even just within the city, I mean, so few people realize, like for example, out in Cauquil, there's a ball court, pre-Hispanic ball court from the 8th century BCE. We have large archaeological sites like Choclan, like Chenho. There are, very impressive, very cool things to see that aren't necessarily like tourism driven, so people don't know about them. But there's so much to discover here, and travel and all that kind of thing is so subjective. People come and they spend some time in Central here in Merida, and then just kind of assume that's the entire city. But this is a huge city, and there's parts of it which are indistinguishable from a place like Atlanta or Toronto, and then there's also these places that are just completely otherworldly. So there's so much contained in a small, relatively small geography.
Okay, guys, so tell me a little bit more about the magazine. How do you guys put it together? What is the whole process of just creating the magazine from issue to issue and all that stuff? Like, in fact, how many issues do you guys have a year?
Well, the print magazine comes out 4 times a year. We're working every week. We put up content all the time on our website to keep that going.
And there's a weekly newsletter that's very widely circulated. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so really, even just for 4 issues a year, we have to keep engaged with advertisers, freelance writers, freelance photographers, finding topics. We always have a running list of stories that we'd like to do. They can fall through. We have to do another one. We map out the issues like this, and so it's really 2 solid months of production to get one issue out. So we're always busy. We're always planning. We're always scheming. We're always doing something to make sure there's another issue on the way.
And it's also really changed a lot because we actually started right in the middle of the pandemic. So when we started, we were doing so much in-house with material we already had, because we just couldn't go out very much and do a lot of shooting and stuff. I do a lot of the photography, and Lee and I do the bulk of the writing. But of course, we also have a lot of collaborators here, both local and international, and so it's really kind of like from a process point of view, it's really evolved. We always know what our next 3 issues are going to be. So even though we're working, on the next issue, we always have, this thing that's a little bit further down the road in mind, and trying to, if we're going to X place, and we know that in 2 issues from now we're going to be needing a story about such and such, we try to work it in so that we can get that when we're out there and everything. It's kind of like, when they film movies. You don't film a movie from like chronologically, you're seeing A to B to C to D to E, right. Or TV shows, sometimes you film multiple scenes for a lot of different episodes on the same day. we do similar things. So the process is kind of always changing, always evolving, but especially within the last few issues, like 5 or 6, we've really reached out to a lot more people and are having a lot more voices and different voices. We did a women's issue because Lee and I, especially at the beginning, were doing so much of the writing. We really wanted to avoid this turning into Carlos and Lee magazine. So, I think we've been successful at that.
Yes,
and
would have been great.
Yeah, and I've let my ego take a little bit of a back seat, and not every single one of the magazines has to be my photo on the cover, though I do like that. But yeah, no, it's the process is really changed. It's dynamic, and we've experimented with a lot of different things. Some have really worked really well. Those that don't, one of the nice things about being a small company is that we can just kind of take decisions on the fly, and we don't, we're not tied up in any kind of bureaucracy or anything like that. So just whatever works, and what doesn't. And that's true both for the magazine and for the web. That makes us really nimble, and that's one of the things that I really like about our publication.
Yeah. So we've always emphasized getting as many voices in the magazine as possible, and that applies to both writers and photographers and the people we write about.
So as you were saying, each issue has a different theme, has a different,
different theme or emphasis. We started that with our women's issue, where we found how many women? A lot of people who just we think are really shaping the culture here. We also, our core is homes and living at home and home design. This was a very popular issue. Trey Spiegel's home was featured on the cover. He, that's been a really huge issue for us. And then we did party planning, celebrations. It was a great place for a party. Yeah. So you want to do that here. Ushma is on the cover of our current issue, where we talked about places you can go while you're based here. The next issue, Best of Yucatan. We're doing a big reader survey.
Awesome.
We're going to find out who the best everything is.
The best of the best.
The best of the best restaurants, hair salons,
pool cleaners,
anybody, all kinds of categories.
And so
best YouTuber, could be, so good luck.
Yeah. So the magazine, basically, where can people find it? Because again, it seems like it's something that anyone that lives out here or moves out here, even if you're just touristing, out here, you're gonna want to pick it up because again, you have the best of. But I've seen your magazine, and I know you guys have all kinds of amazing and useful information that like things that I'm never gonna be able to cover. I just don't do on my channel. But the magazine does an amazing job of covering. All these things.
On the interior of the magazine, you can find a list of all the different places where you can go and pick it up physically. And you can also subscribe, whether you're here locally or basically mostly in the US and Canada.
These days newsstands are disappearing, so it's getting hard to distribute magazines, but we do have them available for free in the Centro at the Merida English Library and at Slow Food every Saturday, the Slow Food Market, the original one in Garcia Generas. We also have, you can have them delivered by going to our store. There's a link on the homepage to that. There's also a link to all the hotels, restaurants, cafes that have our magazine, but we can't always guarantee they'll be in stock, so you might want to buy one.
If you want to make sure you get it, the best option is to go to the magazine website, yucatanmagazine.com, and then click on the tab.
Yeah, and like you said, you deliver them even to the U.S., anywhere, right? Basically,
we deliver anywhere in North America. This one debuted at Taste of Merida, the BAI fundraiser at Hacienda Santa Cruz last week, and that was a great debut for us. And they flew off the shelves. But we will be distributing this for the next 3 months until we get started on the next issue.
Yeah, and each issue is, I'm guessing, like a limited run or something like that.
We print 4,000 and they go.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, so people in the audience out there, you should save them, get them, right? They could be collector's items one day, right?
Oh, issue
one
is a
Yeah.
is a serious collector's
If you have one, sell it on eBay. You're going to make a ton of money. Yeah. I don't think I have a copy of issue 1. It's gone. It's just they're disappeared. We have a few in the archive under lock and key.
And now, real quick, I mean, since you guys do have a website, right, and it's a big integral part of everything you guys do, people, can they go on the website and find like past issues or information from past issues?
You can. All of our stories do eventually go online. We kind of hold back so that people with the magazine see it first. So everything's on the magazine first, but those stories do go online eventually. And we do sell past issues and the current issue in our shop online as well.
So with that said, just curious. Okay, so the online presence is different than the physical presence, right?
Oh yeah, we have events. We do more current stories, current events.
We also have some columns that are kind of like every week. So every Monday I write an archaeology story and cover an archaeological site or museum somewhere in Mesoamerica. And and also stuff that's more timely. That's like, for example, the equinox on the 15th in Chaltun is not going to be visible this year because the site's closed for maintenance. So stuff like that is stuff that is timely and makes sense to publish on the website, but not the magazine, right? So there is an overlap in content, but there's a lot of content you'll find on the website that you won't find on the magazine.
And vice versa.
Right. And I would tell people to sign up for our newsletter too. Every Monday, it goes out in the morning, and it has the previous week's top stories on that, so you won't miss any of our best headlines.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for letting know the foreign community that we are here for them, and to our clients, just say hello to the international community.
Yeah, and Jose, thank you for all of this. We usually are the ones to interview other people, so it's a little strange to have the camera turned in our direction, but thank you for giving us the chance to explain who we are. All we want to do is connect what's here with newcomers and the international community, and we're going to keep on doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing great. It's been going very well. But we're doing this because we really care about it, and it's something that we really like and we really enjoy. And we work well as a team, and that's the main thing. We have fun, and we want you to have fun as well, right? Life is serious enough as it is, so have some distraction. And also check us out also on YouTube, on Instagram. We're not doing TikTok dances yet, though we might be changing his mind about that
next week.
But also, join us on our experiences. We're doing more and more tours, so that's really really cool and really fun, and people always get a kick out of it. So just thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We really, really appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys being so candid and showing us about, everything about the magazine, your lives. And I really hope that the audience, finds this video very helpful. And again, the magazine is just another part of moving out here, where again, it's just going to help you connect, with the culture, the people, and be part of the community and really integrate, well within the whole Merida scene.
And most importantly, get your hands on the magazine.
Yes. That's right. That's what it's all about.
All right, guys. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
All right, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, you already know what to do. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.